Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Recast. We haven't done this in a while. I'm Bio.
I'm Water. Hey. Well, I thought you were going to introduce yourself a little bit more than that.
Oh man.
If it's me next, Damien, Demo, how you doing?
I'm the co-host.
No
It's Lunar.
introduction needed.
Oh man. Yeah. So some of you guys probably have not seen this before. I used to do this with Lunar Lux a ton after Kingdom Hearts 3 actually just released. But yeah, we just like to kind of take some topics that are going on in the community and just kind of talk through some of the things. So this week, we're going to talk about the Summer Game Fest that just happened today. Give our thoughts on the Final Fantasy VII Remake ending, even though that came out. When did that come out? Last week?
Last
I
year.
got it
Last
last
week.
year.
Last month. Oh my god, my internet's already dropping. That's not good. Final Fantasy VII Remake ending and the future of the Kingdom Hearts games, because there's like 3 or 4 that are coming out. And the next,
What?
right? Isn't there like 3 or 4 titles that are in development?
I know that there's one.
See, I
The rumor-
always
the
get
rumor is
confused
right.
about what they say, yeah.
But anyways,
They did a Kingdom Hearts new cross update, right? Or something about it? Announcement?
I know there's Dark Road, but then I think there's like 2 or 3 other games in development. Is that not right? I think that's right.
I think that there's just one other one confirmed, but I don't know.
Well, he said there's the Double Feature, which we now know is Dark Road, and then he said there's 2 other projects, I think he said.
Oh. Well then.
But
Yeah.
I can't find the announcement. I think it was in Kingdom
I
Hearts.
think it was an
Cross,
interview,
though.
right?
Was it an interview?
Sorry guys. Our audio should all be fine.
Your voice sounds a little crackly for me.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
my internet.
That's just
It's
me.
garbage.
Okay.
But I think it just leveled out, so I think we're good. So we'll move into our first topic, which is the Summer Game Fest. I called it Summer Fest on topic cramp. I didn't know actually what it was. Summer Game Fest. Oh man, very professional. So did you guys actually watch the announcement?
I didn't know this happened. I did see on Twitter though that people were retweeting the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 thing.
Yeah. So today at like 12, they announced a remaster of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Did you guys play those growing up?
I've played
Yes.
the blue cartridge on N64. Yep.
I played the Tony Hawk game
Yeah.
that no one played, and there was Downhill Jam or whatever the
Oh,
Wii one.
was that the
Oh,
Wii one?
Downhill
Oh, I love that
Jam,
game.
Dude,
yeah.
that one was
On the
the
Wii?
soundtrack was so good in that game.
Dude, I gotta wait. What's the game called? Can you put it in chat so I can look it up later?
Downhill Jam, I think.
Jam.
Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna find it.
Because yeah, I've been on this weird nostalgia trip. Anyway, off topic.
Also, chat. Let me know if the audio is fine. They might be a little too quiet, so if they are, just let me know. But yeah. So Damo or Luna, did you guys play Tony Hawk growing up? You said Downhill Jam, Lunar.
Yeah, that's the one I played. I played a lot of the. I played I think the first Pro Skater and the second one. I never owned them. I would just play them at like my friends' houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my main experience with them, playing at my friends' houses. I own the GBA
Okay.
version of Pro Skater 1 or 2, I think, and it's like a pretty faithful recreation from like a top-down isometric view of the like obviously 3D Pro Skater
Right.
ones.
Gotcha.
Has
See,
Scott done
they-
nostalgia for
They've done it like 4 times. This is like the 5th time they've remastered this game.
him?
I don't know why they keep remastering things, but anyway.
It's
This is the interview you want, by
lucrative.
the way, when we get to Kingdom Hearts.
Say what?
So when we get to Kingdom Hearts, I've just found the quote you're after for Dark Road plus 2 more titles.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know. When they announced it, because it did look good. It looked really good. And the controls look pretty tight. But I think I'm just like exhausted with remakes.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
that's
there
what it
with you.
is. Because
Well, but remasters. Because
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was really good. I
Yeah,
never played
remake.
the original though.
you didn't play
And maybe
what?
that's the thing too, is that
Really?
people who haven't played the originals of these games get to experience them in today's time, which is kind of cool. But it's like it's not really marketed towards a new audience.
No, the
It's usually just
marketing was
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. I think that we'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to the Final Fantasy VII remake, obviously.
Mm.
But there's, to me, like for years, I've always thought there was a definitive difference between a remaster and a remake, and I think people get confused with what's what. I
Yeah.
always took a remake as like a total retelling, like redoing of the game, whereas like a remaster
Mm.
is just like, yeah, that's like, it's like the Xenoblade like definitive edition that's coming out.
I don't say anything
That's-
about it, 'cause I haven't
That's
played
a
it.
remaster, but a remake is like Final Fantasy VII, where they remake the game, like they change things, they add things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
people like, if you went into Final Fantasy VII remake expecting the exact same old game, I don't know why, because like I wasn't expecting that because it's a remake, not
Yeah.
a remaster. So I don't know. So remakes are cool with me, but remasters, if it's a game that needs it, I mean, I'm okay with it, but
Mm.
Don't all games need remasters?
to a degree.
What are your thoughts, Dama?
I mean, yeah, I guess like we're sort of in the Nomura mindset though when we go into it. Like, I don't think any of us expected to be playing the exact same Final Fantasy VII from 20 plus years ago,
Mm.
without a little bit of this spicy bullshit, thrown into the mix. I mean, you're just seeing like the way that time travel just is now pervading the Kingdom Hearts series like it's nothing. And you're like, oh boy,
Yeah.
he loves going back. How many freaking times have we effectively revisited the Kingdom Hearts 1 story?
Oh my
like
God.
Yeah.
one chain of memories coded for. So yeah, given another chance to retell 7, like I don't think anyone that knows him at all could have thought, yeah, he'll do exactly the same thing again. But
Mm.
Mhm.
I don't really blame people that are just like, oh yeah, like it's a remake of Final Fantasy 7 and haven't really paid attention to the games industry enough to be like, okay, well, they're not saying remaster, which is literally just take the assets you already have, make them prettier, and then put the game back out again. That's a remaster where,
Mm.
a remake is something very, very, very different.
Well, I think maybe it's confusing because Resident Evil, aren't those pretty like 1-to-1 with the originals, but they're called
Mm.
remakes?
No, actually, they're more akin to the Final Fantasy 7. They're like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I think they're they're trying to change the Umbrella Corp, kind of, or like how the virus came to be.
Yeah, I never played any of the games, honestly.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I know with Resident Evil
Oh, wait,
7,
I played
they
7.
kind of were trying to change some things, I believe.
Mhm.
But maybe Damo has a better idea of what's
Only
changed.
vaguely. Like, I just know that, like, you go to more or less the same areas in the remake. It's
Mhm.
just, obviously, you've got, like, the brand new mechanics. And that's sort of where I would draw the line of, like, what's a remake versus a remaster.
Yeah.
Like okay, I just
Right.
finished playing the Spyro ones, and they're functionally the same game, just in a brand new engine, obviously,
Mm.
without
They
really
did
anything
Resident Evil
too
1
different.
too, right?
Yeah,
And that was
yeah,
a
it is.
remaster?
It is confusing. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's been remastered and remade, and it's like, yeah, it gets pretty in the weeds pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, circling back to Summer Game Fest, what I guess like initial thoughts you guys have about like them showing like one
The
game
geoff.
per
So,
show?
Yeah, so re-explain the format a little bit. Like,
So,
what are they?
from
like,
what I'm
what's their plan
understanding,
for it.
is every stream that they do is going to be like a short like presentation of one single game, which is, I don't know, I find that kind of odd.
But you're
So-
saying it's over 4 months, they're doing it every day or something like that?
It's like every couple days.
So basically, what you're saying is like it's gonna be basically like Nintendo Treehouses, but like condensed to one game.
Guess I haven't watched those.
Well, Treehouses are basically what they would do
Yeah.
at like E3, where they would take the games that they revealed during the directs and they would like play them for like 20 minutes and talk about them. They would be
Okay.
a bunch of games. They were like, it wouldn't be every single game they revealed, but like they did like
Hmm.
Animal Crossing last year. They did Sword
Okay.
and Shield. So they played those games and talked about them and showed us
Hmm.
like probably like 20 or 30 minutes of gameplay. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's just gonna be something along those lines, but it focuses on like one game.
Gotcha. Well, see,
And
what they did was
are
they
they gonna well,
they
I have just one
showed-
question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, because I was gonna. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like pushy. But no, it's like, are they gonna announce the games beforehand, or are they gonna reveal the game and then just talk about?
Yeah, I think it's like a reveal, and then they kind of talk about it. So like
I
for
don't like that.
this one, they kind of hinted at it with the music that was playing in the countdown, and then they showed the trailer, and then it was like a 15-minute interview with Tony Hawk and one of the game developers.
Got it.
So personally, I'd rather just like have one big show that they kind of show everything. But I guess
Yeah.
that's just what I'm used to.
Yeah, I kind of prefer the, like, I don't know, you get one section to like show off the game and stuff.
Mm.
I guess though, if you go with the one per stream, you kind of have more time to flesh out and really show what you want to.
Yeah, but I think that when it comes to the whole, there's a reason why people are copying Nintendo, like other companies are copying Nintendo with the whole direct format, because that's what works. Like people love getting like game reveal, game reveal, game reveal,
Yeah.
game reveal, game reveal. Then if you want to stick around and see it, you can. But it's like most of the people just like the reveals. They like the reactions. So with this format, it's kind of like, well, you have to be like at your computer watching it every single day to like get the reaction or get the reveal that
Right,
you're
yeah.
looking for. And I don't feel like a lot of people have the time to do that over 4 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like
I
it's a
think I get what
little
Kyle's
too
saying.
long.
Because I
Like-
liked E3 because it was like, oh, Sony's one night. So if you're looking forward to seeing a Sony game revealed, oh, well, you just have to tune in this one day. Or like
Unless
a Nintendo-
Xbox gets to reveal Kingdom Hearts
know.
3 early, and
That was crazy. That was,
I was literally like shopping my wife when Xbox like went with their whole reveal. It was crazy.
yeah.
Because so yeah, it never was on the Xbox. So
So
But
basically,
it's not going to be like one
yeah.
game a day, though, right? It's like I've got the schedule open here.
Yeah, it's not. It's like the next show is like Thursday.
What's May 3rd? It's tomorrow, right? Like 24 hours from the initial review.
Oh, really?
Sorry, 23 hours, and it's going to show off the schedule, I guess. Tune in for a special Summer Game Fest showcase and interview with Jeff Keighley, and then the next thing is June 9th for the Steam Game Festival.
Thank you.
Over 5 days, and
Hey,
then
appreciate
June
those.
11th, Cyberpunk.
Mm.
EA Play, which I guess would have happened on E3, is now happening as part of this thing instead. TennoCon 2020. I'm not sure what that is.
So
Or Warframe players, I guess.
May 13th is in 2 days for us, right?
no, May
Oh,
13th.
it's the
tomorrow.
12th. It's the 12th year.
Oh,
It should
whoa,
be the
wait,
9 p.m. on the 12th, right?
that's tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
It's 13th for me right now.
Oh, it's not even. Oh, wow. Okay, that's. I was under the
I
impression that it was
okay,
like every day, or like every other day. Oh, okay, that makes.
Well,
that
it
makes
looks like they're gonna be doing like a. I don't know, like because Cyberpunk looks like it has its own game slot, but then EA has like their microtransaction games all in one go.
EA Play is what they used to have at E3, right? So I imagine Jeff Keighley literally just said to them, like, hey, have you done your presentation? Just don't cancel it. Just do it at my thing instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it'll just be an online event without, influencers and all kinds of the usual embarrassing. I mean, they might still have the embarrassing crap, but
It would be
rather
something
than rolling out,
about that stuff, man. They're
Oh,
so good.
it's just a nightmare. Yeah.
I used to love
I guess
watching
they
those.
do it on
Direct
purpose.
Miyamoto up on
They don't
stage.
change it. Like
I think
don't
at
know.
this point now it's more about the publicity, because like if you do cringy stuff, people go to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I usually
Just
just fast forward it. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, nothing.
The Just Dance reveal for the first 2.5 minutes. All right, cool. Anything interesting?
Nope.
And then you have like a Rabbids Mario team up where it's like an XCOM style gameplay, and Miyamoto gets dragged on the screen, and you go, I must still be dreaming. Like, I guess I woke up at 4 a.m., but I didn't wake up. My alarm must have
Oh.
gone off. I'm still dreaming.
Yeah, because you usually when all of these reveals are happening, it's like in the middle of the night for you, right?
Dude, I've got up every single year at like whatever time it is, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever nonsense time it is. And
Jesus.
yeah, I just watch it. Yeah. And again, it used to be the Kingdom Hearts, like, it used to be for Kingdom Hearts 3. It used to be, this is the year. This is the year, guys. Come on, this is the year. We're gonna see something.
Oh no.
Coming one
They're
day,
like,
could be this year.
The moment was
That
it
first
2018
time-
where we got blown away.
well, it was first revealed, like, was it
20.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
no,
like a
I'm talking. Yeah,
long
no,
ass time ago.
I'm talking about like when we got like 3 trailers. That was 2018, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, maybe even
'Cause-
earlier, because it was like,
It was.
that would have been
2020.
June. It was out
No.
by January of 2019, right?
Yeah, it might have
Yes.
been.
I don't know, you might be right. You might be right.
Yeah, I think it was 2018.
Okay. That was the
I
best.
just remember seeing Sora pick up the
Keyblade, yeah.
master. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so awesome. And then he was riding on the Heartless Wave in Traverse Town, or
Oh,
not
that
Twilight
was
Town.
good.
I like
Do you
That
it.
was
guys
an
know
old
where,
trailer.
Do you guys know where you were when that trailer dropped? Because I know where
It
I
was
was.
4 a.m. and I was watching the trailer.
I think I was at my old work at USC.
I don't even know.
I got back from a concert with my friends and we were at McDonald's in the drive-thru and I was watching E3 on my phone and I think I almost gave the drive-thru attendant a heart attack because I screamed so loud when I saw Kingdom Hearts 3 pop up.
Oh,
Like,
man.
and
Man.
that's my story. I was at McDonald's.
That's awesome.
I think it's so funny. Like that year, I just knew it was like this is because they were revealing the 1.5 and 2.5, and I was like, no, they wouldn't have a trailer for that. Like because they had a trailer for that first, but I think it was already out at that point, or it was coming out really soon. And I was like, no, this isn't gonna be it. And then you can see all the commentary and like the the live casters talking over it, and they're like, oh, more for Kingdom Hearts 1.5, and I'm like, no. The art style's changed. The art style's changed. Look at it. He's picking up the king. Ah!
Yeah. Why is he so beautiful?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because right before that, that's when they turned Versus 13 into 15. And that was
Yeah.
cool too.
Oh, interesting.
Kind
Was
of
it
funny
really?
how they did that in the same stream that they revealed Kingdom Hearts 3, and now we are where we are.
Well, that's why basically like why PS4 got off to such the amazing start that it did. Like Xbox One shit the bed. Like Don Matrick was going up there talking about how oh, it's got to always be connected. It's bundled with the Kinect. It has to be paired with the Kinect. And then like Sony, like obviously they're multi-plats, but Sony led the charge with revealing Kingdom Final Fantasy 15. But Versus 13 does exist, but it's being rebranded as 15. Blah blah blah. Yeah, like that whole generation was basically shaped at that press conference for me.
That's crazy.
And here we are now to the tune of what, like 101 million PS4s have been sold versus like 40 million Xbox One. So
Wow.
Damn.
yeah,
I don't like
pretty
the PS5 controller though. I can't say that yet, but it just looks like an Xbox controller.
It does.
And I
Yeah.
don't like Xbox controllers. They just feel weird in my hand,
Yeah,
even though
I
it's
think it's
ergonomic.
too much of its identity, maybe, but I don't know.
I'll have to use it first, but yeah.
For sure.
So finally, we can talk about not like not finally.
No,
You
no.
guys stop talking, but like finally, like all of us have
for us,
finished.
finally.
All of us have finally finished Final Fantasy VII Remake, right?
Sorry about that.
Just starting now.
And we're all together in the same place. So we can actually talk about it. Because I've had conversations with, I think I've had conversations with all of you guys, but I don't know if we've ever like come together and talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
wait.
really crappy game.
Shut up.
I don't know.
first, actually, Preferred Will, Water's fiance, said
Hi.
Water KH would send me every single trailer. He was so hyped for like Kingdom Hearts when it was coming out. That's funny.
I
so
still do that
nice.
for stuff I'm excited about.
But yeah, so I guess we can start with Water and then go down the line. But what was your first impressions of like as you're going
I've
through
never
the end
played
game?
Final Fantasy VII, yeah. So I didn't know that none of this happened. So
Really?
I don't. Yeah, no. I was like, oh, cool. We're fighting. I always thought Sephiroth was at the end,
Yeah.
but I was just like, oh, cool. I guess it's the middle of the game. I guess we fight middle boss Sephiroth, and then I looked online and it was like, what's it's not my Final Fantasy VII? I was like, what? I was like really confused. So yeah,
That's
going
awesome.
in like finishing it, I was like, that's pretty good. I liked it, and I didn't realize that Zack's not supposed to be there or something, or
Yeah.
that they're not supposed to. I don't know. I don't know anything about anything.
So the scene where he's like in the desert fighting off
Right.
against all the soldiers, he gets shot down there, or he like gets like wounded there, and then ends up dying. And kind of like that's what I'm trying to think of
Spoilers.
what. Well, you said you didn't
try
know
to
it.
Spoil it without spoiling it.
no. Yeah, I didn't know.
Anyways.
Is it Crisis Core, or what is that?
So yeah, that's the end of Crisis
Advent
Core. You
Children?
do
That's the
learn about
prequel,
it.
basically.
You learn about it in Final Fantasy VII, but they kind of expand upon it in Crisis Core.
Gotcha. And is Crisis Core a movie or a game?
That's the game.
PSP.
Advent Children is a
Advent
movie,
Children's the movie.
Okay.
but then there's
Isn't there another part?
there's a
to this?
mobile game
Oh,
called
there's
After Crisis,
there's
I
also-
think, and then there's one
Yeah.
called Before Crisis,
Just severance.
and then yeah,
Damn.
there's
Dirge of
Cerberus too.
I really just want to do like a whole like Final Fantasy
no
VII
idea.
marathon because there's
Sure.
so
So this
much
is like a Final Fantasy 13 universe kind of thing, right?
for sure. Yeah,
I guess.
like they've
Okay.
Yeah, but bigger,
it's called
yeah.
what is it called? The Final Fantasy VII.
Expanded cinematic universe. The Joker.
They have like a name for it.
I think
Yeah,
the
they
name just said it, or was
No,
it?
I was making
Compilation.
sense, yeah.
They call it the compilation of Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, and I guess this
so
one's another entry into it.
This
then.
is technically
Potentially,
people
the
think
latest
it's a
one,
sequel to
yeah,
Final Fantasy VII.
potentially.
So none of
because-
the whispers are in the original one, right?
Technically, whispers appear in Advent Children.
Oh, so they're part of the universe. Okay.
They are part of the universe, yes, because
Uh.
it's confusing. So like pretty much what the remake is doing is taking everything from the compilation
Mm-hmm.
and like making all of that canon and then kind of like layering that all into the original story, but also treating it as a sequel.
A new story.
It's
Okay.
it's really confusing. If I need to
So
actually
that
link you
whole
guys.
Sequence doesn't have like they don't go into the portal and then reappear
No,
wherever they're
so
at.
the ending of the original Final Fantasy VII is they ride off into the sunset or whatever, and then they leave Midgar, and then that's like the next disc, and you go to the overworld.
Oh, okay.
Which I
But
think will still happen as
Yeah.
part of
Yeah,
remake, but obviously you didn't fight Sephiroth first.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we don't know if that's like the future or the same period.
There's
Do we?
okay. I need to link you guys a podcast because there's a guy named Maximilian, dude.
Perception.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he has like compiled because he's gotten information sent to him from like so many different people, and so he's compiled all of it, and he talks about it in this podcast of like laying out like this is a connection to Advent Children, this is a connection to Crisis Core, this is like all of these different things that like went into the ending of the remake.
That's
It's insane.
So cool.
Before we get to Lunar and Damo's take on it, I want. What was the cat thing? The cat that just
That's a
yelled?
character.
Kate
He's a
said,
character.
Oh, Kate Sith.
Cat Seth, yeah.
Because I was like, who the heck? I was like kind of threw me out of the scene. It was
Yeah,
just,
random
like,
cat.
random
It
cat.
really did it.
Okay,
Like,
I,
yes,
no,
I'm like, wait,
I
there's a cat.
I saw a meme that was like, wow, I bet all the people that never played the original saw this scene were like, what the hell?
Right?
I literally
Yeah.
was. I was like, do I know this character?
I
don't
saw
know this
him, I was
character.
like, yo! I'm like, oh,
That's
the boy.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
I was so confused because I was like, there's animals in here like that can talk.
Yeah, that's why I consider like the remake to be a sequel because there's so many like kind of small things that like if you've never played Final Fantasy VII you wouldn't pick up on.
Yeah.
Right.
But and
I
again,
think I was talking to you about this. It's like it benefits you to have and have not played it first.
for sure.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's all the more. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't played the original 7. I just sort of know a lot of the plot just by, I guess, like osmosis over the last 20 odd years of,
Hmm.
these things happen. That's this, this character, whatever. But like I didn't know that the plate fell. Right? I was like, oh yeah, we're going to stop them from destroying the plate. And then when it happened, I was like, holy shit! And I think it meant so much more to see that in, with these, actual cutscenes and
Man.
3D graphics and the characters and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And correct me if I'm
That
wrong,
seems
but maybe it meant a lot more than if I'd seen it in the original. Maybe I don't know.
Hmm.
But then again, it's like it's packed so full of references that
Mhm.
you would only get if you'd already played it. So I just feel like playing the remake, then the originals, then the remake again, maybe like the way to do it, just to get like
Hmm.
every
Yeah.
single bit of like references in there and have the best experience today. Like if you hadn't played any of them, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think I think you appreciate it differently if you play it or if you don't play it. But I think each experience is still
Sure.
really good.
Of course.
Because I've played the original before, once,
Yep.
and I've kind of seen some of the different like games and some of the lore, so I don't really know too much about it. So when I first played it, I didn't really understand much of the ending. But then like going back and kind of watching all these different people that do have a good knowledge of that was like really interesting. But what was your take on
You
it,
get around
Lunar?
to watching. Oh, sorry.
Wait, oh, me? What was my take
Mm.
on the ending?
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was everything in general or not. Okay, so I loved it. I loved the ending. I thought it was great because it's more so like what I was saying before, where I was expecting things to be different because it is, like I said, in my mind, remake means differences and remaster means the same thing. And I was expecting there to be some sort of, and plus Nomura's behind it. I think we all expected something to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought the ending was great. It was definitely confusing. Like two things really threw me for a loop, and that was obviously the Sephiroth fight. Like I was blown away. I was like, there's no way I'm about to actually fight Sephiroth right now. And that was one of my favorite boss fights ever. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And yeah, that was so much fun. Oh my god. And One Winged Angel sounds so good. Ugh.
Mm.
And then, yeah, oh, it was so good.
Did you guys see the death? So if you let the countdown go down. Hey,
I didn't see it. No.
Wait, what's that? For what?
So he like starts the divine proclamation or whatever. In his last phase, he has that countdown. Yeah.
Oh, that. Yeah.
It has a whole cinematic associated with it. It's so cool.
Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah. But
I think I made like a GIF or something. I'll have to send it to you guys.
Word, do it. But I was gonna say there was oh yeah, the whole Zach thing. I was like, what the hell? Like that was crazy. People were saying it was like a DDD thing, and I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I think like you know how they expanded on, but then here's the because obviously, yeah, no, people thought it was literally gonna be like two realities, like two like things like coming together, but I'm like, I don't know about that.
Well, actually, that's not really how it works.
No, that's what people were trying to say is like, oh, it's like Zach and like
right, yeah,
have their own two different storylines, and I'm like, well, no, I think they're just gonna expand on Zach and then kill him because that's just kind of what happens. I mean, I don't know, it's gonna be weird. There was also a lot of foreshadowing that certain events in the game, I'm not gonna talk about them, but certain events might not happen. So I don't know. But you had a lot of really good ideas on what they could probably do with that stuff. Those were really good ideas.
I'm pretty sure I just probably regurgitated all that I heard from Maximilian, dude.
Yeah,
because literally like
that stuff was cool.
The podcast that he did was just like melting my brain because it all makes so much sense and it all connects so perfectly. And it's just like, oh my god, if they connect like all of these different movies, all of these different like lore tidbits,
that would be cool.
It's gonna be awesome.
I think they're gonna really like. I don't think Zach is alive. I think they're just gonna expand on his character before the whole thing happens.
I think that's like a red herring.
That's like what. Yeah, but the thing is, then I was gonna say you can relate that to like Avalanche, but like it seems like they're alive, which they shouldn't be. So I don't know. It's strange. I don't know what they're going to do.
Some of them got even in this.
One of them did. Right?
Well, Jesse's glove was like on Biggs's like dresser or something.
Was that Jesse's glove?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, people thought it was Jesse's glove.
I never found like a definitive answer.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
Well, is it Biggs or Wedge? I can never get them.
Biggs is the one that's
in the skinny guy.
Okay.
Yeah, in the bed.
So he survives, but he was on a lower level, right? Or was he was on a higher one.
No, he was on a lower one.
Yeah, they got him out somehow.
Yeah. So like, is Jessie then? Is she also alive then? Because
I think she's dead.
They're saving that.
I really hope so, 'cause I like them a lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
But then Wedge went into the tower, and then we don't really know. I guess the tower didn't collapse or anything, right?
Well, yeah, he got Thanos by the whispers, didn't he?
He got whispered, yeah.
Yeah, he gets pulled out of the building, right? Because he's in the whatever Shinra tower, and then he gets pulled out, and then you hear like the window breaking, right?
No, not Wedge.
Yeah. I love Wedge.
Wedge is great.
Whenever he talked, all I could hear was Breaking Bad, like the the method.
Wait, who is it?
It's the guy that dresses up in the like mascot costume in Breaking Bad. That's not a good example. What's his name?
It's been years since I watched that show.
Badger.
Is it Badger?
It's one of the two earlier drug dealers that are friends with Jesse. It's Badger and Skinny Pete. It's the not the skinny guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And every time Wedge said Jesse, I kept thinking I was like,
right, yeah, I know, yeah.
So funny.
Seriously.
That was awesome.
But yeah, in a nutshell, I love.
That guy.
I love the ending.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
Plain and simple.
That's really funny.
What do you guys think they're gonna do going forward? Do you think they're gonna actually change things? Okay, actually, do you guys think the Whispers are dead?
No.
Dead?
Because they like.
I don't think they're dead, but I don't think they're going to interfere as much,
Okay.
or if at all, because they kind of made it a point to make it like this is the climax of your battle against them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're in a timeline now that is now free of those, or like what.
Well, actually, it would be right because we broke through fate, so fate
That was-
doesn't really have any control anymore, right?
Yeah. You.
I
fought
think that was
Fate.
the implication, right? That
Mhm.
can we now get on with shit
I honestly thought that
without
was Sephiroth, but yeah.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know. It seems odd that like, I guess they did like destroy the huge Harbinger though. I don't
Yeah.
That was just a conglomeration, right? Of the,
know.
all of
Yeah.
them. Oh, I don't really know. I guess it was kind of its own entity.
No, they all flew
the
together.
mini wisps just little entities off the big.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
That could be.
Yeah, they kind of do seem to be like hive-minded because if you like hurt one, then it staggers the other one, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see
Hmm.
that. But
I
it
always-
does
Because the
have
Whispers
that
do
name, right?
come out of Sephiroth after you kill the Harbinger.
See, okay, but is that Sephiroth or is that just like the prophets and we're just dreaming that they're? Because what was that whole like dream fight that we did?
Which dream fight?
Yeah, earlier on against the Genova, whatever you call it, disaster, whatever it's
Oh
called.
yeah.
Oh, it
Cataclysm?
changed.
What's in it?
Because all those priests
Genova?
were just like we were just seeing the priests as Sephiroth, right?
Yes.
That's what that was my understanding. But then
Yeah.
he actually comes down. Is that?
Well, it's
Wasn't he
kind of
dead?
like I can't.
I don't know if
explain
we've
that, but it kinda
seen-
spoils the game a little bit.
I don't think we've seen Sephiroth yet. Until he comes
I
down
mean-
at the end. Like in the singularity.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
before that is
It's not
the
really
prophets.
Prophets, right?
Yeah.
What about in the when he takes Geneva,
I was
whatever?
gonna say the one in the hallway seems to think it's him, but they could be under the same.
But then he
influence.
no, because then he falls down off the roof and he shapeshifts.
Yeah,
back
he
into the-
changes to a prophet and falls
Yeah,
off the roof.
Yeah.
I guess it could be like it's all Sephiroth. He's just body hopping kind of thing, like Ansel.
Yeah,
Because I mean, that's
you
kind of a thing.
you're on the
Okay,
right
have
track.
you guys seen Evan Children?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if you'd seen it yet.
Oh, you can talk about it. It's fine. For me.
So pretty much anything that has like a cell of Sephiroth or has anything connected with Sephiroth can control that person or like take over that person, I believe.
Interesting. Like Darkness. Very interesting.
It's all connected. I think
Yeah.
that's my understanding.
Well, yeah, because don't they refer to them as like Sephiroth like clones or like experiments or what do they call them in the original?
They call them remnants.
Copies?
They call them something.
I think Dama said it.
I mean,
was it?
in Crisis Core,
They're
they're calling
called-
them like.
They're called
Or
remnants of
copies and-
Sephiroth, I think.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
So,
So that's why Sephiroth like never really like dies because there's
Right.
so many.
do you guys know the three whispers that you fight are the characters from Advent Children?
Oh,
What?
is it from Advent Children? I thought it was you guys from the future.
Yeah,
Or something.
a lot of people thought that.
I always thought like when I was fighting the Whispers, I for some reason in my mind thought it was hysterical because like to me they were like the gatekeepers of like the original Final Fantasy VII, and you're like trying to tell them like no, things will happen differently this time, and they're like
Mhm.
no, they need to be like the original, and then it's like
That's actually
just-
a cool dialogue.
The
I thought
three-
it was
sorry.
kinda funny.
the three like humanoid kind of whispers that have like
Yeah,
the
the
red,
red,
the
yellow,
colored
blue,
ones.
whatever.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
based on the people from Advent Children. But
Oh, that's
no,
cool.
the,
And the gun and
the
the
actual
sword and the-
whispers. The actual whispers are the meta for like fans and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the way I saw it because you know like you kept getting the flashbacks of the things that like inevitably like should happen, and then
Okay.
you kill them,
What's
and then
with
you're
the
like, oh.
Tifa? The Tifa cowboy hat. Did that
Crisis.
happen already, or is
That's
that?
yeah, that's in the
a
past.
That's a flashback, yeah.
Okay, that's in Crisis Core. You're saying, Damon?
Yeah. Well, I guess in the OG as well, but definitely Crisis Core.
Mm.
So I was like, what? She has a cowboy hat.
Yeah, that scene is pretty cool, from what I remember in
She
the
looks
original.
so angry.
Yeah,
Things happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to watch these movies.
Yeah, dude, you need to
Or
play through them all.
game.
It's so good. I've been
It's the
watching.
kind of thing. It's like, I don't know if I want to do it though, because like I
Yeah.
feel like the impact is gonna be so much more if I do it in the remake
Mm.
versus doing it.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
they have to remake those parts that they brought up, right? Like they can't just
I assume so.
know it. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I feel like Nomura likes retelling stuff, or
Yeah.
Square Enix in general. So I feel like they would take that opportunity to like add more content.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, that's tough because on one hand you get to see all these references and pick up on the little details, but then on the other hand, you get to experience like everything as it happens and not like be looking for the next part. If that makes
Right.
sense. Like, because you
Yeah.
played the original, you're like, oh, after this they have to go here, right? Or they have to do this, so this has to happen.
Right.
And so you're waiting for that to happen. But I guess if
think
you haven't
that-
played it, then
that
Yeah.
kind of feeling. I think Game we were talking about that, or maybe
Exactly.
I was just because you watch the trailers and you're like, oh, this hasn't happened yet.
mm-hmm.
This is gonna happen sometime. Oh, this kind of looks like where the trailer would fit in. So you kind of like,
Oh yeah, no,
what's
I
gonna
can't.
happen?
I can't watch trailers anymore. No way.
yeah, no, I
Oh
can't
yeah,
do
for
it.
sure. Especially Square Enix
I think.
trailers.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
the difference for me though is like I was looking forward to seeing how they would treat the areas that I knew were coming. So I'm like, oh, like I know like Wall Market's coming up, and when I saw Wall Market for the first time, I almost passed out because it was so beautiful and I loved
Yeah.
it. And then I was like, okay, well the train graveyard's coming up next. Like I can't wait to see what this looks like. And I was like, oh my god, I almost passed out. And then the first time I saw Aaron's house, I was like, oh my god, I actually think I passed out when I saw that for the first time. And it's just, you know what I mean? So I guess it's just like how it's just how you're experiencing it. Like I was looking
Mhm.
forward to seeing how they were going to treat and respect the things that I knew were coming versus like, oh well, I know how the story goes, but
Right. Yeah.
so I don't know. It depends on how you look at it.
I think too, because you've played Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah.
So I think someone who hasn't experienced it, yeah, I think it's because I didn't play that, so like not wanting to know the stuff that was gonna happen because I didn't know the story. Oops,
Mm. What was that?
I just dropped something. I don't know what it
What
was.
was that?
But yeah, so I think totally, yeah. Did that make sense? Anyway, continue.
Mm-mm-mm.
I was thinking for the people that were getting upset with like the changes. I don't know. Without having played the original game, it's hard to say. But if someone was like, "All right, we're going to remake Kingdom Hearts," and instead of fighting, you fight Darkseid on Destiny Islands, but then immediately you fight Xemnas straight afterwards,
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that is kind of weird." Because obviously, like, I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I wouldn't. I don't know. I can't really fault people that like don't like that without being like, yeah, it would kind of suck if the thing that I held special to me for like the past 15, 20 years was suddenly altered. But I think what's happening with this is that it is literally a sequel. Like the original thing did happen, but it's almost like we're going back in time maybe to prevent a lot of those things from happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of Remind a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Well,
it's like
yeah,
kinda like-
definitely.
yeah. You go back and you like get a different experience for things that already happened, but it has
Yeah.
the same result kind of.
I
or
guess-
different result. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Thinking about it, like if I played, like I grew up with Kingdom Hearts, so I played Kingdom Hearts 1 when it first came
Yeah.
out, and I grew up with that, and I look back at that fondly. And then I hear, oh, they're like remaking it in a new engine, and then I play it, and it's like completely just like changing everything. I think,
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel.
did they
'Cause-
change a lot though? I feel like the ending.
They've
was the only
set
thing
up
they
okay,
changed.
to
the-
they've set up to change like the course of everything else after this.
Yeah.
Okay, and is that like the chunk, like the big chunk of?
I would say that
This-
was realistically, I think that was the first 5 hours.
Yeah.
Of the original.
Very, yeah.
And then how long is the campaign usually, or what? This one?
Average time, I'll look it up.
I beat it in
30 to 40 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Depends
it's
on
like
what
a
you
small
play.
part.
Yeah,
It's
so
like part 1 of 6. So I can see how that could be upsetting.
Hey, thanks for the
But
sub, my
like
bro.
realistically, I mean, like I think from like on paper, the only things that were different were like they added a bunch of quests. the Whispers, and the entire chapter 18 were completely new. Other than that, everything was like play by play, like almost.
Yeah,
Which is
everything.
I feel like they won't. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're not going to change. Because what did we really do? We didn't defeat Sephiroth. He's still alive.
I
So
think-
like, did we really alter anything? I feel like
think-
we're going to continue the
I
game.
think what they did was basically like, I think it was the developers telling you like, you don't know what's going to happen with this remake. That's essentially what I took from it. They're like, oh, like you got your original experience, but like now you don't know what's going to happen because of what you just did at the end of this game. So like the big events, like I'm not going to talk about them, but
Right.
they were foreshadowing at some really big events that might not happen. And
Oh, so all this stuff like the piercing
yeah,
rainbow lights, those
the whole
they're
stabby
not going to
stabby.
happen.
That might
Stabby,
not.
stabby.
You don't know. You don't know if it's going to happen.
I mean, they literally said at one point, like Red 13's like, what the hell do we all just see? Because they all just had a flashback of a, I guess, alternate timeline. And he's like, oh, that's the timeline that'll happen if we don't succeed here today. And it's
Right,
like,
Yeah.
literally, Advent Children will happen. And by extension, I guess everything that happened after Midgar. But the
Right.
original Final Fantasy 7 will happen if they don't change fate right here and now. So yeah, it's like, oof. I still assume they're going to hit a lot of the same story beats as the original, but in a
Maybe
different
altered some
context,
way.
maybe.
Yeah, like in
Yeah.
a different way.
Like
Like, I
they'll
think-
find some reason they have to revisit the similar places, but
Mm,
because you sort of want to do both, right? You want to give the nostalgia of a remake. That's half the reason you play a remake, right? But
yeah.
you don't want to. Obviously, they're intentionally trying to tread very different ground here.
Mm.
But they like altered fate to take out Sephiroth, right? That was the whole reason we were trying
well,
to like
see-
go against fate.
Well, we took that Sephiroth to alter fate, right? Like it was just sort of him standing in the way of. Like all these whispers and shit were like, no, keep things the same, keep things the same, keep things the same. And Aerith's like, we can break through this little portal right here, and things would be different.
Mm.
I don't know if we can do it, but I think we can. So let's give it a try.
But we don't defeat Sephiroth at the end.
That's what I'm
Why?
saying. Like,
Okay.
we didn't alter fate, essentially, right?
Um.
There are some
Well,
people that are
I
here that
think-
weren't originally.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
We
Zack thing, I
did.
think, is supposed to kind of like wink at the fact, like, oh, you did something, you know, by beating Sephiroth and by beating the Whispers and stuff.
Right. But
I
what I'm saying is
assume-
like the adventure that Final Fantasy VII isn't altered because the quest is to defeat Sephiroth, right?
Yeah.
Kind
well,
of.
to
Yeah.
save it's
So
yeah, it's
nothing
to
would
save
really
the planet.
change from because we didn't beat him.
So so Cloud's getting
I
visions
don't know.
of the future.
I don't know anything.
No, you're fine.
What?
That's a good question. Like all the visions that Cloud was getting throughout the game,
Mhm.
those are all like different like sections of the future.
Oh, that doesn't happen in the original.
No.
He's not having
He has-
visions.
Well,
He has
he
like
has-
headaches
quite,
and
but-
stuff, but it's not him seeing. Well, we don't really know if it's him seeing
you
the
get
future.
you
but,
get flashbacks mostly.
yeah, but you don't
when
get flash
he
forwards.
gets like that. Yeah, you don't flash forward at all.
Oh, those were flash forwards. I thought they were flashbacks.
I think a lot of them were flash forward.
Okay,
Mhm.
interesting.
Like the one with Tifa and the cowboy hat and stuff. Like that's a
That's
flashback.
a
Oh.
flashback. Mm-mm-mm.
There's speaking of flashbacks, there's one flashback I really want to play. I'm looking really forward to it.
Which
Ugh.
which one?
Just like I'm trying not to spoil it because I don't know how much Damo and Water know.
Oh, that's true.
But it's mostly like the whole Nibelheim thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Is it? Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll look really
like
good.
like
Wing
the
Pong.
mansion and stuff?
Because that's when. Well, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited to see
We're
that.
not going to talk about it, but I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to
okay.
that whole thing. It's going to be so cool.
So,
gonna be like-
what
Ugh.
do you guys think the development time is going to look like for the next game?
I'd say a
Well,
year
said-
and a half, 2
Yeah,
years.
No, I think.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
I think. Well, no, I think Nomura said he wants to get the next part out like immediately.
Mm.
No, okay, so no, that's been taken out of context a fair bit. It's like people are asking when the next part is going to come out, and he goes, "Well, we could either do it in a couple of big chunks, and it would take a long time for each chunk to come out,
Right.
or we could do it in several smaller chunks, and in which case you'd get more content sooner." I don't think he gave a definitive answer on which one he actually. But then everyone ran away. Everyone
Right.
ran out and immediately said, "Oh, he's definitely doing it in several small chunks."
Yeah.
Because modern
I
games
guess I never
industry,
said
and then it
part
just gets
one. Yeah.
Which I'm interested to see how they handled all of that because it's
I
not
feel
remake
like-
part 1.
Yeah.
It's not.
I feel like it's gonna be all under the same game, and it's gonna
Mhm.
be like $30 DLC.
Oh,
I
you
feel like
think
it
my
has to be, right?
right? Yeah, I
Like
just
that makes
that.
the most because Remind was $30 and under the
Mhm.
same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was a lot smaller, I guess, though, so I could see it being 40 or 60.
yeah.
but-
I'd wonder if because there was a huge thing about like the reunion is at hand, so I wonder if they'd be like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, Final Fantasy VII
Oh, that'd be interesting.
whatever other rewords.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure
now that you
that
say
came from
that, like
Maximilian.
Remind and stuff, and he's been
Mm.
doing remix, is it whatever? Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
he likes. Damn it, Nimura. I didn't think about that.
But
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm
Well,
interested to see
the
how
way
they
they describe
handle.
it, right?
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I can read the back of the box, right? Like the story of this first standalone game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project covers up to the party's escape from Midgar,
Mm.
and goes deeper into the events occurring in the city than the original Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, just the important part of the story of this first standalone game
Yeah.
in the remake project.
It's not like
Yeah, it makes it seem like we might get a second. I don't know. I mean, yeah, God, wouldn't you just like love to wake up one day and be like, "Oh, my PlayStation's downloading. What's this? Oh, a huge update.
The
Final
next
Fantasy VII
part.
Remake, and it's
Yeah.
just the next part for free. Sweet."
Yeah.
Like, but
I
Do you guys think
Yeah.
they're gonna change the combat, like
No.
in the different parts?
no,
You don't think so?
No.
I don't
I
think so.
I feel like having like 4 or 5 different games where like Cloud has the same 4-hit combo is gonna be so boring.
well,
you
I
get
mean,
new party members to change things up, right?
yeah, that's true. I don't
but
know.
you only get to level 50, so
Yeah.
don't know why they just cut that off. I hate that too about because are we gonna like just carry our save file over? I
You can
guess?
do that. I mean, Persona 5 Royal, it
Yeah.
detected like the save file of the original Persona 5 and gave you like different items and stuff.
Interesting.
So it's definitely possible. Oh, Luna, you're
Yeah.
subbed to me.
I've been subbed.
Aw, thank you.
You guys hear that? Is that in my house? The big dog bark?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's right
Oh,
outside.
there's the dog. Yeah, I hear it.
Featuring pup.
Mm-mm.
Dog.
I guess we can kind of move on to our last topic of the night, if you guys want to, which is upcoming Kingdom Hearts games. So I think Damo said he has the quote because we were trying to figure out
Yeah,
if
the
there's
links-
3
the
games or
links in
4
the
games.
description.
Oh, okay.
What my understanding has been is that like they revealed Dark Road, and then Nomura said, in addition to Dark Road, there are 2 other projects in the development as well.
Okay.
And that's where everyone's been coming up with the 3 games idea.
Mhm.
And yeah, like Wada was saying before, the double feature thing that they teased a long time ago was obviously the Dark Road is now
Dark
going to be squished into Union Cross.
Mhm.
And yeah, we don't really know what the other 2 are, but apparently the title of the cover art, quote if you will, of Remind has a hint, so that everyone is effectively thinking that some sort of Kairi title is
Yeah, what
possible.
was that? Because I heard people saying that there was going to be a Kairi game because of some interview with Nomura, but then like,
I think it's Kyrie.
Oh, because he
Is-
said that.
oh wait, I think we're back.
Right, right.
I like completely crashed.
Oh,
Cool. Okay,
jeez.
we're back.
All right, cool.
So
But yeah, so when he says the 2 other projects being working on blah blah blah, and then he says, and one of them will be coming pretty soon. I don't think he's referring to Dark Road. I think he's referring to the 2 projects.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah, hope
it is
so.
always weird
I
though
don't feel that.
translating Japanese to English. So I would.
I
Yeah.
never like fan translations, honestly. I just been it's too much. Like I appreciate all that they do, but it's like the information that gets passed around sometimes just is not true.
Yeah.
Not on the fault of the translator, just it's just difficult to get the meaning sometimes, I guess. But in an interview setting, I feel like it's a lot easier to get what they're trying to say across.
Because
Yeah.
they like I feel like
Yeah.
they know that's gonna be disseminated. So but he did say that it was the art of Remind that was gonna
Yeah.
be Kairi.
As far as I know, I actually can't say that
Okay.
in this quote here, but
So it's Dark Road and then 2 other ones, and I'm assuming Didn't he say somewhere that like Kingdom Hearts 4 wasn't being worked on right now? Like it's not a numbered title.
Well, what I think he said was after Kingdom Hearts 3, they asked him like, "Oh, like when's Kingdom Hearts 4 coming?" He's like, "I think that I want to have at least one title before I even begin to think about like a Kingdom Hearts 4 or something like
Right.
that."
Which is
And I'm sure that's the Verum Rex game, right? Like that has to be what he's.
Do you guys think they're going to make
insinuating.
Verum X?
They could. I mean,
Damo's idea was pretty like I'm pretty on board with that. If he wants to share that.
yeah, hit us with it.
I just sort of teasing, like, I don't know. I don't think it. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but if there is a potential Verum Rex game, would it be in VR? Verum Rex VR.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I did see
yeah.
that. Yeah, I love that.
Like 3D. It was in the
Like,
the DS.
Screen
Yeah.
drop distance was on the DDD 3DS.
Like, it just makes so much sense in my head. Like, yeah, that's where they're going with it. Because they always try to branch out to the new places. So I feel like the next two games are going to be on PSVR and then Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Sony's pretty far in bed at this point with everything Square, so I wonder.
Mm.
At least for Final Fantasy and
So you guys think the
Kingdom
three
Hearts,
titles are Dark Road, Verum Rex for VR, and then a Kyrie game for the Switch?
I feel like something Yozora related almost.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Like the trials. It's like I've been through some trials, and when Sora meets him, it's like that surely is a game. Like the trials that he's been through, surely
That has to be.
we're gonna
I agree.
find out what the hell he's.
See, I'm
give
wondering
context to how they got there.
It's gonna be like
because
Beat
they
Saber.
just recently did. What?
I said his trial's gonna be like play through Beat Saber in VR.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Like, I mean, his sword.
How
kinda
awesome
looks
would
like,
it be to do Beat Saber to like Face My Fears or Simple and Clean?
With Keyblade,
Man,
with a Keyblade in your hand.
yeah.
That'd be funny.
I'm sure there's a
man.
mod out there for it.
Definitely.
But I don't know. I mean, speaking of Kingdom Hearts games, I think I've talked to Water about this. But when do you think we're gonna get the game revealed? Like the next, like aside from Dark Road, like the next game.
I think
revealed?
this summer. I think it's gonna be revealed this summer.
I was saying that too, like in full confidence, because we know Square Enix loves revealing things early. I think we're gonna get it revealed to us by the end of the year.
They have to. Like they've
And we're
left.
gonna get it.
They don't have to, but like
No, they do.
where they left the Kingdom Hearts franchise, like the whole Darkseeker saga is ended, but it kind of ended on like a sour, not a sour note, but like it's really divided the community, and I think
Really?
a lot of people were not happy with the ending, and so like they need to reveal the next game to like hook everyone back in, but they need to reveal it like a good, interesting next saga.
Yeah.
Because people
Because
have
I
been
thought,
with
like,
this.
yeah.
Well, maybe people did really enjoy it. But I think the main focus is the whole saga has ended, right? The whole Xehanort saga, everything that people have been playing up to Kingdom Hearts 3 is finished. It's done. So they're starting a new saga, and so they really need to pull people in and get them hooked before they kind of move on.
Well, Dark Road's still there, right? That's a Kingdom Hearts game, right, guys?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's kind of the problem, though. Like, and I know what you mean by like they have to hook people back into it, because I mean we have the next like sort of saga like sort of in the works, but that's tied to a phone game that people hate.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Every single person in my comments. Every single person in my comments.
Can
saying,
someone
"Thank
clip
you for
that?"
the video so I don't have to play that goddamn game.
But like what I'm saying is like they need to introduce like this Verum Rex saga or the Yozora saga in the next. They have to reveal it like in a more like appealing way, because we have like this Master of Masters foretellers Union Cross nonsense on the phone. Like, why do I care about that? You know. But
what if Yozora is like our character from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross?
Yeah, that's a fun theory.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like they wouldn't be starting two sagas at once, because we kind of are already in the foreteller part.
That's what I was kind of confused about. I'm like, why do we have an uncompleted saga and now we've got like this guy like out of nowhere, you know?
Well, it kind of reminds me of like
not
seeing
tied to it.
Roxas in
Well, I
Kingdom
think-
Hearts 1's ending, and it's like, who the heck's this person? And then you're like, play as them in Kingdom Hearts 2, and you're like, what's happening? And now we're like, oh, it's Roxas. Oh yeah, he came from Vent. Well, yeah. So it's like,
Oh, what was his
I
name
feel like it's
before?
a
The
trend.
blonde-haired boy or something?
Yeah, like nobody knew who it was,
Blonde-haired
right?
kid, yeah.
But he
Mm-mm-mm.
had Oblivion and Oathkeeper.
But yeah, I don't know how they're gonna. I assume like the Masters and his whole group is the next saga, which is just weird to kind of have that hinted at in the previous saga.
Well,
Which
yeah,
is kind of
because
like,
Kingdom Hearts 3's epilogue kind of pointed at that. That's
yeah.
probably the next saga. It's like the
Like, even
new
the secret
game. You
episode
Even
as
through the
well.
whole game, they're like, oh, we gotta find this black box,
For the entire game.
and it's just like,
Yeah.
Oh, this mysterious girl we never talked about. Oh, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really my biggest problem with Kingdom Hearts 3 is that it was so, I don't know, it felt like it's so busy setting up the next saga
Uh-huh.
rather than
yeah.
telling its own story.
It was like,
Yeah.
It's like,
here at the end of the Keyblade Graveyard, boom, boom, boom. Here's all the wrap ups. Moving on.
I feel like that's like
Yeah,
all
more
of
like-
Kingdom Hearts though. Like, yeah, the stories in the Kingdom Hearts universe or in the Disney worlds like did have to do with the story, but like it's really like the last 4 hours of the game that
Yeah,
everything kind of comes into play.
But
That's yeah.
I think what Damon was getting at was like, instead of tying up all these loose ends from this whole saga,
then-
they spent more time like setting up for the next saga.
I think my argument
it's
for
like-
that is like we've been discussing it for like what 13 years, like waiting for
Good one.
like that last ending. I didn't actually do that on purpose, but so burned in my brain that like we kind of knew what was gonna like we knew how it was gonna end, but then we got through a loop because like now we have like the final world and Yozora and all that stuff because like we needed the next part. I don't know. I guess in my mind, like we kind of knew the ending already, so like it wasn't as big of a deal to tie up that ending as much as like getting the other threads going. But that's just my opinion, at least.
I'm fine with like the final world stuff and meeting a mysterious star there. Like I don't mind that so much. I think it was more like the reason they got Aqua and Ansem Ansem the Wise back is because Ansem Seeker of Darkness just decided today of all days was the day to be like, I have to ask you about this girl, by the way. Yeah, but and like he had 2 decades to do it, but he decided in Kingdom Hearts 3, like, oh, this girl's so important, don't you remember? We all love her. She's all our best. Everyone.
Well, I think that
Leonisa
Bio
been talking about it for a decade as well, and blah 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 blah. Like,
well, I think the whole thing with that is like Rechatted Memories kind of sets that up. Like you forget about the person until
if that's how they do it, it'd be very very. So I'll let you explain it for
yeah. No, it's Bio's idea. I think he put out a video about it. I think, but it's basically like Skuld gets erased from everybody's memories because like her chain of memories gets unlinked, and then someone or something is putting them back together, and that's why everybody's now like, oh yeah, this is my motivation, and like I'm not just here randomly. Like I can get on board with that, but if it's not, I think that's a real big waste of potential. I'm sure maybe he has something else in mind, but I can't admit it might just be bad storytelling. Maybe.
Well, it's what happens when you're trying to write a story over 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really blame him. I think when we like look back in a few more years' time, it's going to be like, yeah, I mean, they did a pretty good job where they wanted to go, and the amount of time they had to actually tell that story and set up future stories.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, like I look at like I don't know, Avengers: Infinity War, and it's like that is a masterpiece because of all the building blocks that led you there. And some of the building blocks are a bit shaky. Like some of them are kind of got a bit of paint scratched off them. But like, I'm talking about like like
the Hulk.
I know Thor 2 is probably not a great movie, and yeah, I mean the Hulk is but a lot of them, and even the second Avengers movie, which should have been this big huge, it's an Avengers movie. This is the event we've been waiting, 7 movies for. It's the second Avengers movie wasn't Age of Ultron wasn't really that great, but then you get the big one event, Infinity War is like, oh my god, this is worth every shitty movie we had to sit through. And I think they're all pretty good movies, but just like in context of some really, really, really good ones. And I think I tied that metaphor back to Kingdom Hearts somehow.
We gotta get through the murky building blocks to get to the end game.
Like Limit and Secret episode was so good, and it was like, holy shit! Like all my complaints about Kingdom Hearts 3 just dissolved when I'm like, the combat is perfect. This like the boss's difficulty is perfect. It's all amazing. So
Mm.
I forget
really
every
wanna-
complaint I ever had about Kingdom Hearts 3 in that moment.
It was crazy to play because I didn't hate the combat of Kingdom Hearts 3, like the base version. I was doing like a level 1 proud and crit, and I could, I was frustrated to be locked into combos. But it wasn't until like, Remind came out and we had that new combat and like combo canceling, and I was like, oh my god. Like I can't go back.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's really cool to like see I don't know. I really want to do like a retrospective of the Osaka team and like show where they started and like how they've kind of like changed things and evolved their combat system throughout all their games. Because it is really impressive to see like where they started from and where they've kind of ended up at.
I agree.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people are just like, oh, Osaka, blah blah blah, and it's like, well, like if you look back at like where they've come from, you can see this vast improvement.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But anyways, but so upcoming Kingdom Hearts games. What do you guys' like thoughts and theories other than like Kyrie and Vermix? If there's like, okay, actually, let me rephrase that. If there's like a fantasy game that you could create that has the Kingdom Hearts IP, like what kind of game would you want to see?
Well, I feel like sorry, I was gonna do this real quick. The World That Never Was got recently ported to Switch, so I feel like
Oh, The World
them
Ends With You.
doing that. Is that what it? Did I say it wrong?
It's
I
the
was
world-
So The World That Never Was.
The world that never
I always
was.
get those two confused.
I don't know why they're so similar. But yeah, I think that them porting that to Switch kind of leads me to think that if the VR game if Rex isn't going to be like a VR game on the PS4, then I could see that being a spin-off title on the Switch, incorporating Shibuya and Yozora and the world, the team that's in Shibuya, the world ends with you. That team. I feel like that could be an interesting title. But other than that, I'm not too sure. I mean, they kind of set up Riku talking about his dreams for like another Sleeping Worlds game, which I would be really interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kairi can like project herself into the final world as well is really interesting because Sora has only ever been able to send himself there. So I find that pretty interesting. But other
My
than that,
dream
I'm not
Kingdom
sure.
Hearts game is a 2D sprite-based mobile game, and it just, you gotta pay a lot of money to have any fun with it, or you gotta wait 300 days before it gets
Oof.
good. But
Oh,
once it's
oh,
good,
dude. It's like you're reaching into the depths of my brain and pulling out an ideal game, dude. I swear.
I know.
Oh man.
I do like the art style. I think it's
I'd love to
cute.
see a Dissidia-esque game. I think that'd be so cool.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played it. I don't know what it looks like.
It's like pretty much I've never played it, but I think it's like the Ninja Storm Naruto games, the Dragon Ball Z games.
Oh, like a fighting game?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
The city is actually really fun.
I didn't know
I
it
like
just
it.
recently came out. I thought it was an old game.
Well, it was on
Their
like
original
it was
version.
yeah, it was like arcade cabinets,
NT,
and
I
then it
think
was
is the latest.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
There was originally Dissidia on the PSP, and then Dissidia Duodecim or something, 012, and that was a sequel on the PSP. And then, yeah, like Luna said, then it was on arcade cabinets as NT, which is now being ported to the consoles as NT.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah.
What does NT
And
stand for?
obviously, no idea. I don't know. Actually, I have no idea.
That's great.
NT
But
stands
that
for
seems like the phone as well.
New Tail Trial or Tournament.
Yeah.
Stands for
makes
a
sense.
bunch of different things.
A new trial?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Trials?
The whole plot is sort of like, I wonder if it's going to be relevant because it's literally like an agent of, it's like an agent of chaos and an agent of light or something. Literally pulls heroes from different multiverses into one area and it's like, hey, you guys just fight each other.
Really? Oh, that's
But I
awesome.
almost wonder if that's like got like Master of Masters implications. Of,
Yeah.
I mean, that goes down my whole rabbit hole of like the Kingdom Hearts universe and every other Final Fantasy universe are in a multiverse.
Yeah.
And the city is basically just
Have you
less
produced that video yet?
less subtle about it. No,
No.
the script's still there. It's like it's
Sorry,
like number 3 on my list. I
Sorry.
think.
All right. My bad.
No,
Mm-mm-mm.
it's my bad for like having ideas and then just needing them to be perfect before I put them out, which will never happen.
Oh, you're full time back in school, right?
At the moment, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
Oh. Yeah. Other than that, Dissidia, I think it'd be cool to have like an MMO. So I've been playing a ton of Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, that would be
That would be
So,
my other idea
like-
for the new game. Would be them porting Kingdom Hearts Union Cross or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to like a 3D environment.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because they did it with Rechain and Coded. Seems like a
Yeah.
trend to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I agree. Well, I think my dream Kingdom Hearts game, and I've talked about this plenty of times, I want a Riku game. I want solely a Riku game
Mm.
because I love Riku. And I've talked about this before. One of my gripes with Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel like Riku got dumbed down and he got completely shafted,
Yeah.
and I feel like he needs to be back on top.
Mm. Well,
So,
his
that's-
combat in Chain of Members is so quick and fast, and then I feel
Yeah.
like in Kingdom Hearts 3, it was faster than Sora.
Yeah,
until the
and
remind.
That's the thing. I feel like Kingdom Hearts
Pretty
3
much.
gave me the perfect amount of tease for what I feel like a Riku game could, including
Mm.
Remind, what a Riku game could be, and I feel like he deserves that because, I don't know. I feel like he kind of got like thrown out of the spotlight completely.
Yeah.
Well, if he's going after Sora, then
Yeah,
I could see
that's
that
what I'm
being the
saying.
next game.
So
yeah.
I think it's more realistic than people think. I think a Riku game is pretty close on the horizons. All I'm saying is that if I'm
Keyblade too.
if I'm watching Summer Games Fest and they reveal a Riku game,
I'm gonna
you guys
lose
will
my
hear me from your
shit.
houses.
Oh, man.
You'll hear me from your houses. Even Dan,
I didn't think about that.
he'll hear me.
I don't think they'll. I don't think I saw Square Enix associated with Summer Games
No,
Fest.
I think they'll reveal it at like TGS or something,
Yeah.
or like Jump Festa, because that's
Oh
usually where
man,
they
I'm
release it.
actually really excited for. I don't know. I was pretty exhausted from the hype train of Kingdom Hearts 3, and then like immediately jumping to like Final Fantasy 7 remake. I just like it was really exhausting, but like thinking about like the next reveal for Kingdom Hearts just has me so excited.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'm legitimately looking forward to what Dark Road is going to talk about because there's no
Me
way
too.
it just talks about the stuff we know. Like
Yeah.
Well, we don't
don't
know
know
anything
about
about his past, right? Like,
we know a bit because there's the Birth by Sleep reports, there's the Kingdom Hearts 3 reports, and there's
right,
Well,
but that's
like-
all like, oh, I'm getting ready to go out on the tour of the worlds, and then now I'm on.
there's a huge
evil.
gap. In what we
Yeah.
know. There's a huge gap, and I assume it has to fill in a lot of that, but then it has to give us something interesting as well because like it can't just be he grew up and learned to be a Keyblade wielder. Like
I feel like
Mhm.
they're really gonna throw us for a loop with the people that are in that concept art.
definitely,
who they
definitely,
really are.
it's someone we already know in there for sure. and it doesn't
Someone
make
in
any
there
sense.
is
to be.
Kevin.
yeah. It's gonna be.
I
a
don't
big
think
thing.
Luke
Sweet
Sword.
freaking
though.
Ventus.
I don't think Ventus. I think if anybody
Ephemera?
would be either Ephemera or Brain. I'm pretty sure Brain would be there. I don't know about Ephemera. I'm sure. I wonder if like Strelitzia maybe would be there.
I think the only one that I would sort of see would be Ephemera, but who
And then
knows?
Demix. I think Demix is there. But I don't think Luke Sword's there. I think Luke
don't
Sword
either.
comes from,
Well, Luke Sword's with
comes
Yuzora.
from there. No, well, see, I think he hopped to that world line.
Oh,
'cause-
you don't think he originates from it?
I mean, there's no proof.
I
But
think he does. Well, to me, the proof is that Zigbar doesn't know who he is, and Zigbar should know, in theory, who the hell everybody is ever.
Yeah.
you're right. Well, I guess yeah, he does like who are you really kind of thing.
Yeah, because we catch him in a moment where he's not playing dumb. He's genuinely like, I don't know who this guy is.
Well,
Right.
it's
Terrible
because
liar.
Yeah.
For a guy who's had millennia to practice, he is a terrible liar. He's like, oh, I don't know. Like, Zemnis told you to get the box, right? And he's like, I checked with Zemnis. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that's a really easy way to prove that I'm lying. I guess I just forgot. Like he's
Yeah.
a terrible liar.
Honestly, though, if he's kind of he observes and then he goes based on what he observes, right? So he like Luke Sword's always followed the rules, kind of thing. Always just done whatever he's told, and so that would be like throwing Luciu like for a loop. So I can see how he'd be surprised by that, but he should have known how to get out of it. I agree.
Well, I guess what
Unless he's
Lucia would
probably
know
doing a
everything.
double play. No, sorry, man. Go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say maybe Lucia only knows everything in that universe. So since Luxord's from Uzora's,
I agree.
Yeah.
That does make that more plausible. I agree.
And who knows?
But then then does Xemnas not realize that Luxord doesn't know about the Keyblade War, or is Luxord in
I
our
think-
reality at that point?
I think the definition of Keyblade War is a bit too narrow at the moment. I think
Right.
there's an acting above Keyblades. As silly as that sounds. I think it just is like an archetypal battle of light and dark, but
Right, because we did the Keyblade War, right? And we fought against people that didn't have Keyblades.
sure.
unless all of those
I
are
mean, they
form
all
changes.
changed. Yeah.
Well,
Dun
because
dun dun.
Vanitas has a
dun.
Keyblade. Marluxia, Larxene, Luxord
Was
are-
a Keyblade.
have the Keyblade
Paranoid, yeah.
Legacy. Wait, no, look, what is it?
Zigbar
Luxord.
doesn't have a Keyblade, though.
Yeah,
His
that's true.
weapons.
Hmm.
Which
Okay.
could be his Keyblade before he got the
Nah,
no
I
name,
feel like
but I
he
don't
would
think so.
like he makes such a big deal about getting a Keyblade that I don't know. It'd
But
be
he
weird.
also wasn't defeated.
So,
so he
it's
might
not
not
the
count.
defeat of someone; it's the clash
Oh,
between
it's a
light and
light
dark.
spark, right?
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know if that's the light spark. That was kind of a stretch, but I remember when I saw that at first, and I was like, that makes sense. But I don't know. I feel like I was like stretching too much for that theory. But yeah, it's definitely the clash between light and dark. I don't think it's them dying.
Right, because Xehanort, he just has to hit Keyblades with Sora.
Yep.
Which really doesn't make sense, honestly. Like, there's
I
no
hate
like why the Pillars of Darkness
I hate
that
it.
look akin to like Ventus's Pillar
Yeah,
of Light.
it's confusing. I really wish they would have that would have been perfect for Remind because
Yeah.
they went through all of that again. It would have been perfect for Remind to clear that up.
There's a lot of stuff they need to clear up,
Yeah.
honestly.
Next saga.
Like, yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
gonna leave it. They're just gonna leave it behind and be like,
Honestly, I wonder if that was what it was like.
Just like get done,
we're kind of
get
writing
out of
ourselves
it.
in a hole.
yeah.
Just bail.
Oh man.
I mean, it's a good way to bail, I guess.
Mm.
Just kill off the main character.
Do it.
Mhm. Well, I think that's all the time I have for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for coming on to talk. We should do it more
Yeah.
often. I don't know. I'm pretty sure my internet is like literally killing itself. Like trying to stream our voices and stream. So I don't know if it'll work. But I'd love to do it more often if you guys are down.
Of course.
Yeah,
100%.
But yeah.
weekly podcast.
Yeah, right. I'd love to do that if you guys are down.
Yes.
But yeah. See you guys in the next stream. Bye.
Goodbye.